I'm starting this thing off with a poll. I want to hear your thoughts on this. All right. Hello, Briar. As always, give me a second to post this. Go vote in the little poll thingy. I want to hear what everyone's thoughts are on how many wins Tyler Reddick gets this season. Micah, hello. All right, I think everything worked. So there we go. So I asked, some of you have answered, 6 of you have answered. How many wins does Tyler Reddick get in 2026? It's a very valid question at this moment. Because right now he's on pace for 24. Now, obviously, it's NASCAR. This is not Formula One. More than likely, he will not get 24 wins. If he does that, that is literally the greatest season in NASCAR history. Undisputed. I would say that's pretty undisputed. Like, good grief. It's so hard to estimate. Because obviously he's so hot right now, but he could have an off quarter, where he doesn't win a race or has a bad few races there and finishes in the teens or something. Or he could continue this for another few weeks and he has 8 wins in the first half of the season, but then he doesn't win any, or he only wins 1 to 2 in the back half of the season. So, I want to go to the schedule. Because this question, we have to look at where Tyler Reddick could potentially win. So, when we go to the schedule, okay, realistically, Martinsville, Bristol, take those out of the picture. Tyler Reddick is an elite race car driver. He's, I think many would argue now, at the very least, that he's a future Cup Series champion. But Martinsville and Bristol just are not his tracks. No, he's not winning those. So we can take 2 out of the equation there. Kansas is a track he could very well win at. This is a track that 2311 has some great history at. Though when they changed the Toyota body, they have struggled a little bit, but they kind of picked it back up last fall. So I think it's possible. I feel like it's a toss-up, especially after how they ran at Vegas. The 45 was not great at Vegas, so I'm not too confident. Talladega's a wild card, you never know. Texas is a wild card in itself for a mile and a half, surprisingly. It's somehow a wild card. Watkins Glen, he's a great road racer. You never know. I know SVG's probably still going to be a heavy favorite there, but Tyler Reddick, great road racer. He could win again. All-Star race. Charlotte, mile and a half. He's done great there in the past. He has a couple of good results. I think he has a runner-up in the 600, I want to say. Nashville, a track he's come close to winning at before. Michigan, a track he's won at before. Pocono, got to be honest, I'm kind of blanking on Reddick's Pocono record here. So, I don't know. San Diego, another road course. Remember, he almost won at Chicago in 2024. Sonoma, his home racetrack. Once again, a really good road racer. And Chicagoland, mile and a half track. He could very well win there. Atlanta, he won there earlier this season. North Wilkesboro. Once again, Reddick's short track record is not great, so I don't have a lot of confidence there. The Brickyard 2311 is the defending winner. You never know. Once again, Reddick short track record isn't great. New Hampshire, he's done solid at, though. I think he's got a couple good results. Daytona, he won at this year. Darlington, he won at this year. Gateway, I don't know. Bristol, no. Kansas, we already discussed. Vegas, he could very well win, but if they perform like they did in the spring. Charlotte, we already discussed. Phoenix, he can get a top 10, but you never know. Wild card, no. One of the favorites. So, I went through all that without guesstimating. If I had to guesstimate as of today, March 23rd, 2026, how many wins does Tyler Reddick pick up in 2026? Let's see what you guys are saying. Brian Gill thinks the other drivers won't let him. He will get wrecked. Well, that's kind of extreme. Micah says Reddick already beat his career high wins 6 races in. The conspiracy theories and theorists are dumb. Well, of course they are. It's conspiracy theorists. Conspiracy theories, don't come for me. Matt Smith, hello. But yeah, as you said, Tyler Reddick, his previous career high was 3. He did that a couple times. Well, 6 races in, he has 4. 23-11. The most wins they ever had in a season was 3. Well, guess what? They have 4, 6 races in. I think these upcoming tracks don't suit him well. I think he might stall out for a while. I mean, ultimately, it could be another 2-race winless streak. He's not winning Martinsville. He's not winning Bristol, but he could go win Kansas. So you never know with Kansas, but I agree with you on Martinsville and Bristol. Martin, hello. But back to the original question. Let's see what you guys are saying. How many wins does Tyler Reddick get in 2026? 11 votes, now 12 votes. 6 of you say 7 to 8. 3, is that number? 4? Oh, God, there's another vote. Now the percentages are all whack. Oh, God. Okay, the majority of you, 58% of you, say 7 to 8. That's 54%, by the way. Oh my. Someone keeps changing their vote. The majority say 7 to 8, and then it's tied for second at 23% with 5 to 6, or he just ends at 4. Like, he doesn't win the rest of the season. And then there's 9+, which I wanted your answer in the comments. If you're going to go with 9+, I want a specific number from you. I want you to tell me how many wins you think Tyler Reddick's going to get. If I had to guesstimate at this exact moment, he's 4 of 6. There is 30 to go. I'm going to go with 7. I think he gets 7 wins on the year. I think he can get 3 more. I think 7 is the number I'm going to go with. If I had to guess which ones, I would go... Let's see here. I think he goes on a little bit of a winless streak here. Oh, God. Okay. Maybe 7 was too optimistic. No, I'm sticking with 7. I said it initially. It was my initial gut feeling. I'll go... Texas, sure, why not? Texas, Darlington, again, I think he sweeps Darlington. So that's 6, so I just got to find one more. And he wins the fall Charlotte race. There we go. So I think Reddick wins 3 more on the year. That's just my guess. Hey, Martin, don't say that. Tyler Reddick's won at Talladega before. I was there for it. 2024 spring. Michael McDowell just decides to wreck himself off the front bumper of Keselowski, and Tyler Reddick just kind of scoots on by and beats everyone. Brian Gill is still convinced that Tyler Reddick's not going to win a bunch. I mean, yeah, those factors you point out, the fastest car, sure. The fastest car does not always win, as you pointed out. Cautions, different track types, things out of your control, penalties, pit crew mistakes, driver mistakes, he hits the wall or something, or speeds on pit road. Like, there's a lot of factors, but I think it'll even out. Like, he's not going to win 24 races, but I think he's still fast enough. They're still good enough that they're going to win a bunch of races this year, or more than the bunch they already have. Yeah, Micah, for sure. Like, the fact that he's winning this much in the next gen car at this rate is even crazier. Like, it's a spec car, and, whether it's luck, speed, whatever you want to call it, 2 wins, 2 consecutive wins in back-to-back weeks in super speedways is crazy enough as is. The road course, okay, the road courses are usually straightforward, and I would say for the most part we get the most deserving winner the majority of the time at road courses. Every once in a while we see a fuel mileage race, or we see some late race restarts and some late race chaos. But for the most part, the road course winners are the most deserving. Like Tyler Reddick at Coda a few weeks ago, he was the most deserving. He was the fastest. That was the fastest team all day. They led the most laps. They were leading for the majority of that race. Like, they deserved that win. But for the road courses, for the most part, it's pretty straight up. But outside of that, you need a little luck. You need some things to go your way. You need a caution to fall your way, or you just need... But sometimes, at the same time, it kind of ends up like a road course where, last spring at Kansas, Kyle Larson leads 221 out of 267 laps, and he wins the race, sweeps the stages. Like, sometimes it just works out that way. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes, like Saturday's O'Reilly race, Kyle Larson sweeps the stages, leads 107 out of 147 laps, but a late caution kind of screws him over there. So it's a mixed bag. It's NASCAR for you. If this is happening in Formula One, like, the best car is winning every race 99% of the time. But that's not how NASCAR works. So get used to it, I guess. Cody Ware can't be eliminated by week 10. Oh, boy. No, I don't think so. That's a lot of math. Come back to me at week 10. Hello, Clausen Z. How are you doing today? I hope you're doing well. And you're never late, Klaus. You're never late. Yeah, we'll wait for Jamie to get here to talk about that, David. Yes, Matt Smith. Dude, I thought Texas was getting knocked out in the first four. We'll go into the bracket. I thought for sure Texas was getting knocked out in the first four, but nope. They decided to beat NC State. They tried so hard to choke that game. Then they show up. They beat BYU, which is like, okay, BYU was on a skid at the end of the season. Then they beat Gonzaga. It's like Gonzaga had a really good year. They only lost 3 games in the regular season. Like, they won their final West Coast Conference championship. Texas played their best game of the year against them, and now they got to deal with Purdue. And let me tell you, when I figured out that the winner of this game was who Texas was playing, it was a trauma. Either way, it's a trauma rematch, because we lost to Miami 2 years ago in the Elite Eight, blew a double-digit lead late, missed out on the Final Four because of it, which is still just probably the biggest Texas basketball loss in my lifetime, or the most traumatic one. And then the Purdue one, 5 years ago, we played Purdue for a spot in the Sweet 16. Purdue had freaking 50 free throws. Texas had like 8 free throws. And Purdue only wins by 6. It was rigged. It was straight up rigged. It was stupid. It was dumb. I'm still mad about it. God, I hope we beat them this time, because, frankly, they owe us. Anyways, what's up in between the lanes? Anthony Denny, what's up? There's parity with this car. It's just, we've never seen anything like this. I know we see like the random spurts. Like Christopher Bell last year had the 3-race win streak, and every once in a while you see Denny Hamlin go back-to-back, William Byron go back-to-back. But these are the best teams, the best drivers. But 4 and 6, that is a little bit different. That is like, you can have a 2-week just going off, or like it's 2 tracks that are just your best tracks, right? Like Denny Hamlin last year, Darlington and Martinsville. Those are his 2 best tracks. That's not too surprising. But if Denny Hamlin goes back-to-back at San Diego and Sonoma, then it's like, whoa, what are the aliens here? Like, something like that. So, but 4 and 6 is a little bit crazy, especially when 2 of them were super speedways. But road courses, Tyler Reddick's a lead at. Darlington, he was due for a win there. So, yeah. Back to the bracket. So, here's the thing. Oh, my God. I stayed up last night with my grandpa watching this game. My grandpa went to Texas Tech. He was so sad about this. But this was a terrible game. Like, just right off the bat. Like, Alabama made every single 3. Texas Tech looked just so sloppy. It was a terrible game. But, man, This over here, this was the game. This was one of the best games of the tournament. Iowa keeping it close. Florida looks like they're up 3 with like a minute left. Looks like they've kind of not got it in the bag, but it's like if they don't just like step on their own foot here, they're going to be fine. But then they did. So Iowa with that huge 3, huge fat, like they had this inbounds play to treat it like a fast break, kick it out for 3, an incredible play. The Nebraska crowd in Oklahoma City was elite. I'm looking for the other. Oh, dude, this is one of the best games of the tournament. We've had a lot of good games. Like, it's not as bad as last year in terms of, like, all the top seeds are winning because we had a 1 seed go out in the second round. We have an 11 seed in here. Even though it is Texas, it's still an 11 seed. High Point, they were an exciting team for that one day. The St. John's ending against Kansas was fantastic. TCU, the ending against Ohio State, that was fantastic. Let's see here. What were some other notable games? VCU, North Carolina, that was a great game. This was a not fun game to watch, but, I mean, just St. Mary's was pathetic in this game. That's why. This was exciting for the first, 38 minutes. So, that was something. Miami, Ohio, so sad. This was pathetic by Georgia. Just absolutely pathetic. Yeah. I think we covered enough of March Madness here, so... Yeah, Bell, I can't believe, man. I'm obsessed with picking the sweep, the triple sweep or whatever it's called. And every time I'm wrong, but usually I pick Larson. I think I picked Larson to do at Homestead and Bristol. At least at Homestead and Bristol, he won 2 of the 3 races, right? Christopher Bell completely embarrassed me. He didn't win a single race. I don't even know. I don't think he ran top 5 at any point in the Cup race. The Cup race, he finished 19th, ran 19th all day long. The O'Reilly race, he ran top 5 most of the day, but he didn't lead a single lap. And then the truck race, he led 6 laps and finished 6th. So that was pathetic on my part. That I guess that's my bad. And it's not like Darlington's been Bell's best track, so maybe I shouldn't have picked it, but I was in the moment. And, dude, what a truck finish, by the way. Dude, Corey Heim just out of nowhere on the tires. That was crazy. That was crazy. Yeah, my bracket, I don't have it with me. It's in another room right now, but I haven't had to shred it. In fact, we can go look at my bracket. I have a lot of brackets, guys. You're going to see some of my brackets. I literally did some brackets off of the stupidest logic. And let's see which one it is. I think it's just my name. See, you're getting to see all my bracket names. I don't even see. Oh, here it is. Okay. So here's my bracket. I just clicked it. I want this bracket. All right, so here's my bracket. My final 4 is mostly intact. Gonzaga, unfortunately, my own team, ironically, just screwed me over and beat Gonzaga. So Gonzaga's not in the final 4. I still have Iowa State, though they do have an injury, so they're a little shaky. Houston's looking strong. They're looking strong. Duke, we didn't even talk about this. Duke tried to freaking crap the bed round 1 against Siena. I didn't even know where Siena was before I Googled it. They're in upstate New York. Wait, hold on. There was one school that was on Long Island. There was one school that was in upstate New York. And I'm not talking about Long Island. No duh. There's another New York school somewhere in here that was from Long Island. Who was it? I'll know it when I see it. Was it Idaho? Was it Wright State? No, I think it was Hofstra, maybe. Maybe it was Hofstra. I don't remember. But yeah, outside of that, bracket's not terrible. It's not terrible. So I'll take it. Coda and all the other ones. There's no way he goes slower around a corner than Giz and leaves him better down the streets. I mean, it's just how the car's set up. If your car is set up for power or for the straight line versus the corners, I mean, Reddick and the 45 were just better at Coda. There's no other way to put it, really. Yeah, Corey LaJoy, he is running the 25 25 truck again. Good for him, I guess. Paint schemes. Yeah, paint schemes. Let's see. Paint schemes at Darlington. Man, I'm so sad that they killed Throwback Weekend, or that they got rid of it, or they made it optional, however you want to put it. Throwback Weekend was so fun. It was so fun, and I know people still do it. They show up to the track dressed up, and there was a few throwbacks. But when the majority of the people did it, it was so fun and so cool. Tyler Reddick did not run a throwback. Lame. Brad Keselowski, all 3 Biffle throwbacks. Those were fantastic. Those were elite. The 6, the 17, and the 60. My favorite was the 60, just because I resonate Greg Biffle with 3M more than anything. So I thought those were probably the paint schemes of the weekend. I know a lot of people liked Hocevar's Dale Earnhardt throwback a lot, especially because everyone wants to compare him to Dale Earnhardt. We're not getting into that again. But I would say the 60 was my favorite just because of the 3M. I like the 17, the blue, was it the Sherwin-Williams, or was it like the Scotch tape or something? I thought that was great. The 6, I couldn't remember what the sponsor was, but it looked like one of the 3M ones, so obviously it's Biffle. Going down the list, normal paint scheme. I don't like the Freightliner. I miss the old Freightliner. Gibbs ran the... Was he in the monster car this week? I don't even remember. I should remember this. Suarez was in the Nation's Guard. They touched it up a little bit. Looked a little bit better, honestly. Sirius XM. You're right in between the lanes. Thank you. Byron's in the Raptor. That's fine. As we already talked about this was my second favorite of the weekend. They run the STP throwbacks all the time. They're epic. They're great. Normal. The Freebird paint scheme, that was new. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't like standing out too much. Ryan Preece, yes, he ran that. That was my favorite of the weekend. We already talked about that. SVG, the WeatherTech was back. I think the WeatherTech paint scheme is a pretty solid paint scheme. It's simple. The big W, it's easy to identify, which a lot of you have pointed out. I think it's solid. I hate the Universe paint scheme. I hate it so much. It was one of my worst paint schemes of 2025. It's going to be one of my worst paint schemes of 2026. Chase Elliott has some pathetic paint schemes this year. For the most popular driver, he has some awful paint schemes this year. Chastain was in the Moose car. It's all right. I feel like it's getting worse every year. I don't remember. Red Bull, always great. DeWalt, always great. Delaware Life, pretty normal. Why were they running the BetMGM car in South Carolina? I do not know. Maybe there's casinos in South Carolina, but I know sports betting's not legal there. Don't remember. Normal. Bass Pro normal. Don't remember. I'm sorry. It said something about vegans on the back of it. Don't remember. Normal. We need to talk about him in a bit. Once Jamie gets here. If Jamie gets here. If not, we'll do it ourselves. The Columbia paint schemes are always pretty. Normal. Not a lot. So. The Biffle paint schemes were amazing, but Hocevar's was my favorite, not due to the Dale Earnhardt comparisons. That's fair. Hocevar has gained a new fan because his talent and personality does it for me. But hey, Mac, that's good. And yeah, dude, Hocevar's a really young, talented driver, up and coming. He's really exciting. He really buys into the whole Chili's thing, which is cool, wearing the cowboy hat, talking about the margaritas and all that. So he's a sponsor's dream from that aspect. And then also he's just a really good race car driver. He actually shows his personality, which is really exciting. And he's gaining a lot of fans, and that's really good for NASCAR. So that's really cool to hear you say that. Chevrolet's performance seems a long way off 2311 in JGR so far. Yeah. So Chevy has this new body, which someone brought up 2018. It might have been Breyer. It honestly might have been Breyer. But if you remember back in 2018, Chevy introduced like a completely new body, completely new car. They went from the Chevy SS to the Camaro. And that was a rough transition for them. Remember, like 2018, Hendrick Motorsports was, by their standards, awful. I think they only won 3 races that year. Like, Hendrick was terrible in 2018. I think Larson with Ganassi went winless, and this was after he won 4 races in 2017. Who were the other big Chevy teams back then? RCR might have won a race with Ryan Newman, I want to say. No, that was 17. Nope. So 2018, I think RCR went. No, they won the Daytona 500 with Dillon. Chevrolet was pretty bad in 2018. It was a horrendous first half. The second half, they picked it up a little bit. Like Elliott got his 3 wins. But outside of that, like it was a really bad showing. If that's the case for Chevy this year, then whew, they're in for a long one. But with the next gen, I don't think it's going to be like that. But Martinsville is going to be a huge, huge test because Hendrick is historically dominant there no matter the car. If Hendrick's bad at Martinsville next week, the panic button is being hit. The panic button is being hit for Hendrick Motorsports and Chevrolet as a whole if they can't show up at Martinsville. That is like the ultimate sign of something is off with Chevy, is if Hendrick is bad at Martinsville. Zilich already has 3 races with Red Bull. SVG has 1 race with Red Bull. It's clear that either like 15 or more races or the combined of 25 will be Bronny 24 ever. That's too much math for me. That's too much math for me, man. Yeah, so they took the 77 to the R&D center. Man, if he gets a penalty, that's going to be so depressing. I mean, let's come over to the points, by the way. I want to talk about the points real quick. Where is the 70? He's in. Okay, he has 2 top 5s. So, he's in the chase right now. So, but that would be a massive points hit, obviously. I mean, Breyer, it's week 6. We can't go declaring things on our preseason predictions. I mean, if you want to declare Tyler Reddick's going to make the chase, I'll give you that. But Austin Cindric's not even in right now. Like, he's still 21st in points. You're not getting that. Oh, okay. Never mind. I kind of just went off the first sentence there. I overreacted. That's on me. Yeah, it's funny. So they took Cindric and Hocevar, showed absurd speed at a track where Cindric usually does not. Hocevar, he's kind of all over the place in terms of speed sometimes, I would say, and that's Spire just developing. But those two get top 5s, and NASCAR's like, yeah, you're not usually up here at this track. We need to go inspect your car a little bit further. Richard Petty Motorsports was off in 2018. What a throwback. Martin, what a throwback. Richard Petty Motorsports, dude, they went on like an 8-9 year winless streak there. So I don't think they're a great representation in terms of speed as a whole. So I'm gonna take your word for it, Martin. I'll believe you there. I'll believe you. Yeah, Cameron, not suspicious at all. Yeah, Breyer brings up a great point. In the O'Reilly race, in the O'Reilly season, Parker Retzlaff has had a fantastic season. Top 10 at Darlington on speed, by the way. And when we come over here to the points, Parker Retzlaff is 9th in points. He's above Raja, he's splitting time between JRM and Jordan Anderson Racing because of the whole Cup deal. He's ahead of Taylor Gray in a JGR car, ahead of William Sawalich in a JGR car. He's ahead of Sam Mayer in a Haas factory car. This is an insane start for Parker Retzlaff. I don't know if they're going to continue this, obviously. There's a lot of racing to go. But with how things have started, dude, Parker Retzlaff has had a crazy start to the year. I mean, outside of Coda, it's been a fantastic season. Runner-up at Atlanta. Top 15s at Phoenix, Vegas, Daytona, and the top 10 at Darlington. Dude, what a start for Viking Motorsports and Parker Retzlaff. It's crazy. Look at these O'Reilly points, man. It's pretty impressive. Dude, could you imagine? That would be crazy. Parker Retzlaff on pole. Never forget when he pushed Harrison Burton to victory in the NASCAR Cup Series at Daytona. And then everyone at Chevrolet lost their minds. That was really funny. That was really, really funny. What else we got to talk about here? Eric Jones, top 10. Solid. Hamlin, we kind of talked about it last night. He was a little bit off. Briscoe, they just had the bad story of their season. And then just freaking, what was he doing at the end there? I didn't even see a replay. I just kind of assumed that he wrecked himself. I don't know, man. They need to pick it up. Just a little bit off at the start of the year. Yeah, SVG with the top 15. We'll get into that here in a bit. My notebook's over there. But we will get into that here in a bit. We haven't done a really full SVG recap in a few weeks because 2 weeks ago, I was busy. There was things going on. Last week, it was after Arlington, so I had to rewatch a bunch of races on Monday as opposed to my normal rewatching the race replay from the SVG cam and radio. But yep. Top 15. They needed it. After a bad race last week, they needed it. They got it. Let's see what this poll's at. Okay. Dude, Micah brings up a point right here. So there's been all this talk about Suarez versus Trackhouse. Suarez got booted out at Trackhouse. He was the odd man out, and he had to go to Spire. Well, ironically enough, he got fired upward. He got promoted, actually, because Spire has been better than Trackhouse this year. Outside the road courses where Shane Van Gisbergen exists. But when we come over here to the Cup standings, we have 2 Spire cars above the best Trackhouse car, which is SVG, ironically enough. Chastain's down here in 20th, and Zilich, you know what, Zilich, you're a rookie. We won't think about you. It's not that we won't think about you, but we're going to treat you a little bit differently. Chastain has had a really rough start to the year. SVG's had a decent start. It's better than last year. Dude, SVG last year, that start to the year was just, it's what Zilich is doing right now, if we're being honest. But Spire, back to Spire. All 3 cars in the top 17 of the points. 2 are in. 1 is only 1 point out of it right now. Spire's found something. Spire's found something in Trackhouse. Dude, Trackhouse is... I don't want to say they're falling behind. I don't want to overreact, but that TWG, that gain bridge money, it's giving a little speed boost or something to Spire. They're looking really good. They're looking really racy here at the beginning of the year. If they can continue this throughout the whole season, dare I say, could we see all three Spire? That's our next question. That's our next question, baby. We're ending this poll. We're starting a new one. It's time. New poll. Let's hear it. How many Spire cars make the chase? Right now, 2 are in, 1 is out, but the one that is out is only out by 1 point. You also have to factor in, down here, we have a Penske car that's out. We have Ross Chastain, which is Ross Chastain. He is out. And then we also have Chase Briscoe. He's going to be a factor in this thing. More than likely, he will make it. Bowman, once again, realistically, unfortunately, I think he misses, just due to him missing too many races. That's it. That's really it. Everyone else is, 0 Apex. That's very clever. I should have given that as an option now that you mention it. But it's too late. It's too late. If you think 0, just put it in the comments. And Micah, once again, brings up a great point that Trackhouse really hasn't had consistent speed since 2022. Because 2022, the next-gen car was brand new. Nobody knew it. Trackhouse hit something early, and they really just kind of ran with it. Chastain won a couple of races. He was top 5 in the points all year long. He finishes second in the championship at Phoenix. Trackhouse hit on something that year, but they haven't consistently hit on it since. I mean, you think about 2023, I think Chastain won 2 races again, but Suarez was extremely inconsistent. He didn't win that year, but he won in 2022. 2024, Suarez won Atlanta. Did Chastain win in 2024? Surely he did. Yes, he won the Kansas Fall Race. So they only had 2 wins. They were inconsistent. They were out early in the playoffs. And then 2025, outside of the road courses, they were pretty mid, with the exception of Chastain winning the Coke 600. So they've been inconsistent. They've been kind of all over the place in terms of speed, as Micah said. And then as to Klaus's point earlier, Suarez kind of has a spring in his step. I think that's a good point. Sometimes just new scenery is all you need. All you need is a change of scenery. All you need is a little bit of a change, something different, someone different talking in your ear, a different building, a different color of paint on the wall, a different gas pedal. I don't know. And that's it. That's all it does. And once again, it's only been 6 races, right? So we don't want to overreact and declare Daniel Suarez is so back. He's going to win a race this year. He's going to set his career high in top 5s and top 10s. But he's had a hot start to the year. He's had a fantastic start to the year. So Daniel Suarez has had a great start to the year. Spire's had a great start to the year. But I think as the year goes on, who's going to do better, Spire or Trackhouse? Because obviously SVG speed on the road courses, that's known. But on the ovals, Spire's honestly look better. They really have looked better. So it's a mystery, but it's going to be interesting because really Chevy, and we've talked about Chevy's struggles as a whole. We've already done that. But who's going to be the second best team for Chevy? Because Hendrick's obviously the one. Well, is it going to be Spire? Is it going to be Trackhouse? It's an interesting question because RCR is not in contention. They are not in that conversation. Micah, honestly, the way they're all performing right now, I could see any of them getting a win. I think McDowell's a factor at road courses. McDowell's a veteran presence. I think he could win anywhere. Hocevar is a little bit more of an unpredictable because he'll randomly show speed at times. Like he'll almost win Michigan. He'll almost win. What was it? What was the race he was doing really good at when his engine blew up last year? I think it was the 600, I want to say. So maybe those intermediates, maybe they favor Hocevar a little bit more. But then Suarez, he's really good at the road courses, and he's a solid super speedway driver. But now he's starting to show track speed at these intermediates. And back at Trackhouse, remember, he was great at Vegas. Like the Vegas spring race, he almost won last year with Trackhouse. He almost won it a couple of falls ago, 2022, I want to say. Like, dude, you never know. You never know. And remember, Texas. Texas is this wild card, man. I'm telling you, since the next gen car, Texas has straight up been a wild card. And I know we usually get normal winners, but Joey Logano last year, if he doesn't win that race, he misses the playoffs. 2024, if Chase Elliott doesn't win that race, he makes the playoffs, but he goes winless in 2024. 2023, who won Texas in 2023? Was I there? I was there. It was Byron. Okay, so pretty normal winner there. 2022 was Tyler Reddick. So, Texas could be a track that they have circled, especially after how McDowell did there last year. The super speedways, maybe the road courses, and then like a Michigan for Hocevar, it's his home track and everything like that. So, yeah, we'll see. We will see. I don't know. I would say Allmendinger has a better shot at Bristol. Because remember last year he won the pole at Bristol. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and tell you he's going to do bad at Martinsville. He could very well. Remember Allmendinger in the Gen 6 car when he was at JTG Doherty, he like had that 3-year stretch where he was consistently top 5 at Martinsville. Like he could very well, because it's kind of similar to a road course style. But with Colleague, I don't know. It's an unpredictable one. Yeah, I wish Texas would have a night race too, honestly, Briar. I really do. Um, it's it's so cool. Texas night race is always so epic. So I wish we'd get it back, but unfortunately not as of now. Unless the rain, get some afternoon rain and not thunderstorms, nothing intense, but push that start time to 6:30 p.m. and get the sunset involved, and it can be all pretty. And yeah, Jamie the lifelong Logano fan. All it took was Joey Logano running 33rd on raw pace. In fact, right now we're going to get into it. Joey Logano with the most pathetic performance I've ever seen from him in a Team Penske car. He ran 33rd on raw speed. That is not a joke. Joey Logano. Is this going to zoom in anymore? No, it's not. 33rd on raw pace. And you may see Kyle Larson right here and Bubba Wallace and think, well, he just finished next to those two guys. Those two guys are consistently up in the top 10. No, Kyle Larson was up in the top 10, but he just kind of wrecked himself at the end. Bubba Wallace was in the top 10, but he got some damage from a wreck. So, they at least have an excuse. Joey Logano does not have an excuse. He started 29th, dropped to 30th, dropped to 31st, dropped to 32nd, dropped to 33rd. Ran maybe 31st at best. In a Team Penske car driven by 3-time champion Joey Logano, 3-time champion Paul Wolfe, this is a team that their worst day should be like a 17th on raw speed. They were 33rd. And look, if we had Austin Cindric down here, if we had Ryan Blaney up in 20th, I would say, okay, Team Penske was off. So what? What is this? Ryan Blaney 3rd. Austin Cindric 5th, and you were 33rd on raw pace? I am waiting for the report to come out that car, they accidentally ran the 670 package. They accidentally ran the big track package. They accidentally ran the low horsepower. I am waiting for that report to hit. Because that is just bad. But another conversation we have to have about Joey Logano. Joey Logano. Oh, my goodness. Joey Logano, man. He's elite. He's a champion. In the previous format, he showed up when it mattered and he won in the clutch. But we have to talk about him putting together a full season. Because in the next-gen car, it has not happened outside of 2022. 2022. Let's go to 2022. He had a solid season. He was probably second or third best that year. I think Elliott was the undisputed best. I think a lot of people would argue that. 17 top 10s. Solid. He had 4 poles and 4 wins. And I think the 4 wins were spaced out if I remember correctly. He won at Phoenix in the championship race. He won early in the year at Atlanta, maybe. I could be wrong there. Where his other 2 wins were are kind of leaving me. Vegas in the fall, I want to say. Back to the original point. Joey Logano was solid that year. Look at that. 784 laps led. That's a good number. That's a good, solid number. 4 wins, 4 poles, double-digit top 5s. That is a good, solid year. Then we go to 2023. 2023, these numbers are the same, which you could say, okay, that's good. Only 1 win, and that was at Atlanta. Thank you, Cameron. It was Darlington. You're right. He won Darlington Spring. Okay, so 2023, he has 1 win, and it was earlier in the year at Atlanta. Only 308 laps led. Average finish dropped off. A position and a half off of 2022. Okay, that's maybe an anomaly. It's odd year Logano. Let's write it off as odd year Logano, right? All right, even year Logano, what you got for me in 2024? Oh, you got me a championship. Oh, boy, you did it. How? Joey Logano won 4 races. Okay, that's really, really good. That's really, really solid. Cool. Great. 4 races should be the expectation for Joey Logano. Wait, he won the championship with single-digit top 5s? How do you do that? The playoffs. He has his lowest top 10 total in more than a decade. His lowest top 10 total. And he only leads 414 laps. What? And let's go to the average finish. 17.1. His worst average finish since 2012. Again, since 2012, since he was at Joe Gibbs Racing. Another bad year. If it was not for that Nashville win. And I'm going on this huge side tangent about Joey Logano here, but I am trying to make a point here. Joey Logano, dude, is an elite, future first ballot Hall of Famer, multi-time champion, blah, 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 blah. He's won 37 cup races. You guys get my point. He is elite. But I have to make the point. Something has changed since the 2022 season when he was elite, when he was on top of his game. Something has changed. Because when we go back, Jamie shows up in the middle of the Joey Logano side tangent. Of course you do, Jamie. What is up, Jamie? You are going to hate this conversation we are having right now. Because Joey Logano since 2022 has been off. He has been way off, and I don't know why. And when we go through his wins, they are NASCAR Cup Series wins. I am not disputing it at all. But when we think about his wins, his win at 2025 Texas. Texas is a wild card mile and a half somehow. The bumps, whatever you want to call it, but they showed up late and they clutched up. Give it to him. Great. Let's go through his 4 wins in 2024. Phoenix, raw speed, they whipped the field. Give it to him. Let's go to the win before that. Vegas. Fuel mileage. They were not race-winning speed that day. They were not a race-winning car that day, but they played the strategy right. So that was a little bit more of the strategy card. So that's 2 to the raw pace. That's 1 to the strategy card, right? All right. Let's go to the win before that. So before that, Atlanta, super speedway. A little bit of a wild card. We're going to have to put that in this wild card category over here. I'm debating putting Texas in that category, but I'm going to be nice today. Texas is over here in the raw pace category. So now the win before that was Nashville, the fuel tank. That's 3. 3 to the wild card, 2 to the raw pace. Let's go to the 2023 win, wild card. So out of Logano's last 6 wins, 4 of them are wild cards, 2 of them are on pace, and one of those you could argue is a wild card with Texas. What happened to this Joey Logano? What happened to this Joey Logano? Heck, what happened to this Joey Logano? The Joey Logano that you guys pointed out would whip the field at Darlington, would whip the field at Gateway, that would whip the field at Phoenix, would whip the field at Kansas, would whip the field everywhere. What happened to him? It's a question I have. I don't know what it is. But Jamie, that's the thing. You bring up his hair, but Jamie, the hairline started to recede like right here. And he still had an elite 2018, 26 top 10s in 2018. 2016, look at that. Look at these numbers. This is when the hairline started receding. And Brony 20 forever, the playoffs, you bring that up, but my point is, one of those seasons, like 2022, sure, but in a 4-year span, surely they would put together one season. Surely they would put together a 20 top 10 season somewhere in here. He hasn't had a 20-year top 10 season since 2020. 2020. That's the old generation of car. That was the COVID year. I'm telling you, man, I don't know what it is. Something's off. Something is off here. I just don't know what it is. Oh my goodness, it's 8:50. I gotta do the SVG recap, people. I gotta do the SVG recap. I've pushed off doing it already. I did it in Big Nick in the notebook today. Here we go. I gotta do it at some point. Oh, Jamie, are you saying it's his kids? You're blaming the children? Matt Smith, Joey Logano has not been the top guy at Penske since 2023, if you ask me. Since Blaney won that championship, the torch got passed. And I know Logano won the championship in 2024, but I'm just saying. All right, SVG recap. 52 minutes into this thing. Okay. I'll go decently fast here, people. Well, we're currently in the midst of an intense Joey Logano debate and how he is, I guess fallen off would be the right term about. Look at these numbers. Look at them. But all right, I guess it's time for the SVG recap here. Shane Van Gisbergen at Darlington Raceway finished 14th. Remember, guys, his oval races have been all over the place this year. Daytona crashes out. Vegas spins out lap 1. Or doesn't even spin out. He makes an incredible save, but in the process, he breaks the splitter and runs dead last all day long. But outside of that, he spins out twice at Atlanta, recovers to get a top 10, spins out twice at Phoenix, recovers to get an 11th place finish. Well, today he had another decent finish. He had another really good oval finish, but this time he actually did it without spinning out the car. So Shane Van Gisbergen, I guess that's another improvement on ovals. Are we calling it that? Anyways, I got some notes on it. Darlington Raceway, one of the most historic tracks in NASCAR. It's an egg-shaped oval. It's 1.366 miles, also known as 2.2 kilometers for some of you in other parts of the world, Australia, New Zealand, and basically everywhere else on this planet. Yeah, we don't need to get into that debate today. Shane Van Gisbergen actually has a decent track record at Darlington. Remember, scored a top 10 at Darlington in his O'Reilly days back in 2024 in the fall race. And then his Cup Series results are a little bit of a mixed bag. As much as he has expressed how much he likes this track, 2025, remember how bad of a start to the year it was. That was his first top 20 of an oval last season, and this race was in mid-April. So it took till mid-April for them to get their first top 20 on an oval. Well, then in the fall, it was the first race of the playoffs. There was some optimism. SVG had been getting better on the ovals as time has gone on, especially the tracks they were going back to for the second time. So, wow, there's a lot of optimism. There's some hope. Maybe they'll run well. SVG likes this track. He's run well there. I basically said it, and I just spilled a bunch of quarters everywhere. I got to put some money in the swear jar. I said the X word instead of O'Reilly. First entry in 3 weeks. So that sucked. Anywho, what was I saying? He had gotten better in the O'Reilly series, something like that. And, yeah, there was a lot of hope, and then they sucked. They ran terribly. They tried to run this alternate strategy, SVG said. And, yeah, so that was a really bad start, or a really bad result in the fall at Darlington. He finished 32nd. Well, then this weekend, he qualifies 33rd. Trackhouse as a whole qualifies horrible at Darlington, and it's like, oh, well, that's not a good start to the weekend for the 97 or for Trackhouse as a whole. Well, it didn't start any better. At the beginning of the race, he drops to second to last, which is basically dead last because all due respect to MBM Motorsports, the MBM Motorsports car will always be multiple seconds off the pace. So he was basically last, drops to last early on, but then starts to make his way up the field. This is a track that eats up tires. It shreds tires. So it's not a fuel mileage race. It's straight up tires. And literally 1 or 2 laps are the difference, or 3 or 4 laps, whatever it may be. Getting tires at a different point is a major difference in this race. So on lap 45, they split that stage dead in half. It was a 90-lap stage, lap 45. Split it in half. They decide to pit. He says he's a 10 out of 10 tight. They were up to 33rd at this point, and then he kind of marches his way up into the top 25 in that race, and he ends up finishing 25th in stage 1, but they had been lapped, so they had to fight that at the time that they were a lap down. Restarted 23rd on lap 111, so just 21 laps into stage 2. He was fighting for the lucky dog with Carson Hocevar side by side, and Eric Jones goes for a spin, and SVG was ahead, so he got the lucky dog. He got his lap back thanks to Eric Jones' spin, and he said, F yeah, very enthusiastically, I might add, and that the car was halfway better. So an enthusiastic F yeah on the radio, saying or signifying that they got the lucky dog back on the lead lap. And at this point, they just kind of slowly marched their way up through the field the rest of the day. Restarted 20th, ran in 20th basically the rest of the race. He moves up to 16th. And that's where they were at the beginning of the pit cycle in stage 2. They had a failed tear-off attempt. So the tear-off on the windshield, it's like it gets really dirty. There's like dead bugs and whatever and dirt. And a pit crew guy, he's got this little tab and he'll rip it off, and he rips off the tear off so that the windshield is cleared. And he didn't. It like when he ripped it off, it tore in half. So you could see like the tear off just flapping around for like 20 laps before he got behind someone, and the aerodynamics just kind of ripped the rest off. I thought that was really funny. It happens every once in a while, but I thought it was really funny. Stage 2, I wrote down here that he finished 15th. Restarted 14th. He got up to 12th. Only a handful of laps later, there was a caution, and he called the car pretty decent. Remember, the first stage was really bad, especially the start of the race when they dropped to last, but they were slowly improving on this car. He actually stayed out. I talked about how much tires mattered. Well, they were not out that long, so they decided to stay out. Restarted 6th. He was able to make his way up to 4th, but then the tires started to catch up to him. The newer tires were coming from the back. He's on old tires. They're fading, and he faded back to 11th, and that's when the pit cycle began. When the pit cycle began, he decided to pit, and they were one of the first ones because they were on those older tires. They needed to be one of the first ones to pit, or else they would plummet further. Unfortunately, pitting first, that does set you back a little bit because those guys on newer tires are able to catch up to you when they pit later, even though you do get a little bit of distance on them. But they came out in like 22nd, and then by the time everything had cycled around, he was 16th, dropped to 17th, but then got back to 16th. And then a couple of guys just decided to just end themselves in the last 5 laps, and so he ends up finishing 14th. So that was I'm not even kidding. Like, just Kyle Larson just wrecks himself with 5 to go. Chase Briscoe just wrecks himself with 5 to go. So +2 for SVG. He finishes 14th as he on the cool down lap. He said, "Awesome job tuning that car up, guys. Great day." So that was his radio recap or his radio summary. He was happy with the progress. So finishes 14th on the day. Remember, last year, as I said, at this point of the year, calendarly, in March, they had 0 top 20s on ovals. Well, right now, he has 3 top 20s on ovals. He has a top 10 and 2 top 15s, in fact. So it's been a very strong start to the year for them, honestly. We talked about how with this new format, with the chase format, with needing to be top 16 in points, they could not afford to start like they had last year, or else they would straight up miss the chase. It didn't matter if they swept the road courses. If they took till April to get a top 20, they waited till October to get a top 10, they were not going to make the chase. Well, here we are 6 weeks in. They're still in right now. SVG is 15th in the points. There's still a lot of racing to go. There's still 20 races to go. So they need to keep up this consistency. But knocking out top 15s, that will get you into the chase, especially if he can win some of those road courses and get a top 10 every once in a while. So that was SVG at Darlington. Okay, thank you guys, as always, for letting me do that for the Australian and Kiwi viewers. Sorry, I'm checking something real quick. But yes, I am way off schedule. Dude, I haven't even talked about fantasy. I waited till way too late to do the SVG recap. I missed fantasy. Our Monday picks are going to be late this week, man. Woof, I am off my game today. Fantasy. Unfortunately for me, my top 5 streak is over. Oh, no wonder, Micah. No wonder you wanted to look at fantasy. Oh, my goodness. Micah finishes second, but TWJ1 is our Darlington winner. But Micah finished second, but TWJ1, you are our winner. Round of applause for TWJ1. Everyone joins the winners list of 2026. Micah, of course, brings it up. Micah with a runner-up finish. Jamie, you're up here in the top 5 too. Clear 40 is in third. Matt Smith, 53, tied for fourth. Man, a bunch of people who are here. You guys are up here in the top 5. Kirk Memorial Motorsports is 6th. Kingswood is 7th. Sky Talent 8th. Another tie for 9th. Am I going crazy, guys? Or has there been a tie for 9th every single week? It happens every week, man. How does this keep happening? It's another tie for 9th. I'm mind blown. Dude, how does this keep happening? This is insane. Sky Talent, you're here. Top 10. Congratulations to you. Dude, how does it keep happening? Aussie Matt and RT Racing tie for 9th. It's mind-blowing. It's truly, truly mind-blowing. Anyways, I finished 17th. So, yeah. As for our league standings, Kirk Memorial Motorsports still leads the points. Kingswood is in second. RT Racing is third. Fourth is Kiwi Mike, 65. Mike, if you're here, hope you're doing well. Tyler Hernandez, 6. Tyler, if you're here, hope you're doing well. Nee, what's up? Yeah, Nee. Hey, it's all good, man. It's all good. Micah, you're up to 6th in the points. Aussie Matt is 7th. Matt Smith is 53. Hey, look at that. You're in the top 10 of the points. Boosted Cal is 9th. And we got Dan the Jets fan, our Season 1 champion, is in 10th. Jamie, you're up there in 12th. You're tied for 12th, actually, with Kiwi Brocky. Just kind of going a little bit quickly through here. I'm in 16th. I'll take it. I'd be in the chase right now, but we don't have a chase. Kloss, you're in 18th. David, you're in 17th. Sky Talent, you're in 20th. Nee, you're in 24th. I know you had a rough start, but you're up in the top 25. You got a long season to go to make up points. So, Nee, I wouldn't be too discouraged. If I miss you, I'm sorry. Zero Apex, you're 39th. You got to get it going, Zero Apex. You got to get it going. I'm going to be a little bit harsher to you. Dunkin' Donuts, the championship hangover is real, man. Still in the 40s in the points. And then look at this. We only have 2 people who have not put in any entries. How about that? I'll take it. I'll take it. We're doing a great job in fantasy. Thank you guys. You guys have been incredible this year on fantasy. So, thank you. No way, Micah. Yeah, let's go to the 36 for 36. I used Eric Jones. Solid day. Solid top 10 day. I'll take the 27 points. I know that ends my streak of, I think I had 4 straight weeks of 40-plus points. Unfortunately, it sucks. But, hey, I'll take the top 10. So, work. Thank you. Back to our league. Racing OnlyFans League. Dolphox is our leader. 2x29k is in second. Boosted Cow, Geesey Racing, number 41. David Anderson, star 88. Micah, you're right. You are sixth in both. T's Lugnuts is seventh. Crew Dog is eighth. Rocky Mountain High ninth. And Mankato Mike is 10th. Rapid scroll through everyone else. I'm 13th if you care. Jamie is 17th. Sky Talent, you're 19th. David, you're 20th. Pork Chop 78. Remember when he was leading the points at the beginning of the year? Yikes. Mike, you are 27th. Kloss, you are 30th. We got to go through this quicker. I'm sorry. And yeah, there we go. Tyler, you are 55th. Marty, why does it not have you in the points? That's weird. Okay. Cool. Jamie, good pick there. Good pick. All right, let's go to the Monday picks. We've been screwing around for a while now. Monday picks, we have 2 races this week. We have the O'Reilly Series. I made my first entry into the swear jar in 3 weeks today for saying the X word. O'Reilly Auto Parts Series at Martinsville. Let's go through it. Let's go through our significant entries as always. Garrett Smithley's in the 0. Luke Baldwin is going to be in the 5. Ryan Ellis in the 02. Josh Balicki in the 07. Lee Pulliam in the 10. We got Brent Cruz back in the 19. We have Myatt Snyder in the 30. I, at the ripe young age of 126 in the 35. Brad Perez in the 42. We have Joey Gase in the 55. We have Raj back in the 88 this week. We have Raj Chastain in the 91. All right. Yeah. All right, everyone. Monday picks. O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. Knee. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. You messed that one up. Jesse Love is Knee's pick for the O'Reilly Series. Andrew Patterson is in 32. I did miss that. I apologize. That's on me. Jamie's going with William Sawalich. Okay, Jamie. All right. Knee is going with Brent Cruz instead. Changed the pick last minute. In between the lanes is going with Taylor Gray. Brony24 Ever is going for Sammy Smith. Matt Smith is going with Carson Quapple. Okay, that's a solid pick. Decent pick. John Ray is going to go with Allgaier. Born Again Breyer is going to go with Harrison Burton. David is going to go with Sammy Smith. Cameron Morris is going to go with Brandon Jones. We've got a couple of Sammy Smiths in here. He did win this race last year. Did he? No, he did not. He tried to win this race last year. Flashbacks intensify. Oh boy, that was something. Anyone else? Anyone else got an O'Reilly pick for me? Mike is going with Quapple. Okay. Time to Talk 100 is going to go with Dean Thompson. Okay. Honestly, Matt Smith, Micah, you guys inspired me. I like it. I really like that pick. Carson Quapple to get his first win at Martinsville. That is a really solid pick. I like it. Carson Quapple. Put it in. Martin is also going with Dean Thompson. Now for the Cup Series at Martinsville. Let's see here. So we have, I think, 1 significant entry, maybe 2. And if not, just look for your favorite driver's sponsor. As always, if you're an Austin Dillon fan, Dow Coatings. If you're a Kyle Busch fan, FICO. Universe on the 9. If you're a Chase Elliott fan, that paint scheme is still terrible, by the way. Let's see here. Bass Pro Shops on the 19. Austin Hill is our significant entry in the 33 car. Cincinnati on the 24 car. Sirius XM on the 45. Justin Allgaier is in the 48 this week. Once again, we already knew that. Super.com is on the 51 and Superfile is on the 97, so that's interesting. But yeah. All right, let's hear it. Monday picks for Martinsville. And David's going with William Byron. Time to Talk 100's going with Cindric. Born Again Breyer's going AJ Allmendinger. Jamie's also going with Cindric. How is Cindric the first multi-pick we have here? YouTube user that loves the playoffs is going with Austin Dillon. Martin's going with Ryan Preece. Remember Ryan Preece led like 100 laps here a few years ago. So not too crazy. Not too crazy. In between the lanes is going with Hamlin. Matt Smith is going with Hamlin. Cameron Morris is going with Ryan Blaney. Okay. All right. There we go. John Ray's going to go with Larson. So we got a couple of Hendrick picks. We got a couple of Hamlins. We have a couple of Austin Cindrics. Mike is going to go with Ryan Blaney as well. So we've got a couple multi-time Martinsville winners getting picked. That's fair. That's fair. Is anyone going to pick Cody Ware as Martin? We got some people throwing Ty Dillon out there. Justy's going to go with Josh Berry. Interesting. Jamie says, why is HMS winless going into Week 7? Could they be winless going into Week 8? Micah, the question isn't, I got nothing against UniFirst. I just have something against their paint scheme. Make a better paint scheme. The old one was nothing special, but at least it was decent. Oh my God, we're going to end up having the Bob's Discount Furniture against the UniFirst paint scheme for the win, aren't we? Chase Elliott's so good at the Spring Martinsville race. I'm tempted to pick him, but the UniFirst paint scheme is single-handedly going to be the reason I don't pick him this week. Single-handedly. I'm sorry, Chase Elliott. I'm not picking you this week. Just straight up because of that. That's the reason. My Monday pick for Martinsville. Sky Talent's going with Blaney. I'm going to go. I think he snaps his cold streak. He's had a really cold start to the year. They're due for a really outstanding result. Chase Briscoe. It's a little out there, but Chase Briscoe. Sure. Why not? Chase Briscoe. Yeah. So my Monday picks are Carson Kvapil and Chase Briscoe. Am I just a Bass Pro Shops fan? I've been to like one in my life. I yearn for the Bass Pro Shops pyramid. I've driven by it many a times, but I've never stopped in it. I need to go to the Bass Pro Shops pyramid in Memphis, Tennessee. I want to go there so bad. Anyways, okay, those are the Monday picks. I know we went long tonight, guys. I appreciate you sticking with me. I appreciate it. It was a really solid night. Really good job, guys. Let's see. What was that question I asked earlier? How many Spire Motorsports cars make the chase? Wow, actually pretty even. 33% said 1, 36% said 2, 31% said 3. All right. That's exciting. Okay, cool. Brony24 ever says Brad's going to win. All right. Well, guys, I got to wrap this up. Jamie. Jamie, you only saw half of the side tangent rant on Joey Logano's poor performance in 2026, specifically Darlington. You got to go back and watch it, Jamie. Got to go back. You don't have to. I won't make you suffer through it. But we went into a deep dive of Joey Logano's Darlington race and also his really confusing 2023 through present. So, all right. Thank you guys for being here. Cameron, Jamie. Hope Joey Logano does better for you this week. Breyer, thanks for always being here. Cameron, thanks for being here. Sheldon Creed Fan 00, I support format. Brony24 ever, thank you for being here so often. Same with you, Martin. Sky Talent 787, thanks for being here. Micah, thank you for always being here. Thank you for being loyal. John Ray, Keytar, In Between the Lanes, love doing the paint schemes with you. Matt Smith, thanks for being here always. I mean, the list goes on of people to thank. But thanks for being here. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I will see you guys next week for the Monday after Martinsville. And obviously any other news that breaks. And then obviously we'll talk about the Martinsville week.